a lot of freedom to do, to like move it around and stuff. So what we're gonna do is actually double click on this locked icon, or this lock icon, and then when we do that, as you guys can see, we have this like layer option. So let's name it background. So let's name it background, and then we can keep the color, we can do it none, and then it'll basically be the default color, or we can choose whatever you want, and that'll essentially just make the color of the not essentially the box, but that's like the color here. Let me do that. And let's select a color. This is actually very good for organizing, and we're gonna go over that later. So let's, as you guys can see, the red color that we selected is sort of kind of like marks it with that little red color. So later on, while you're working, you can always assign layers different colors, and with that, you can kind of organize your project. But that's not very important for now. We're just gonna learn the interface for now. So as you guys can see, we have a white background here. So the first thing we're actually going to do is learn the move tool. So the first tool that we are actually offered in this column to the left is this move tool. So we're going to select, make sure that you go to the right in this layers tab and select our one and only layer in this project. And then we're going to select the move tool. And then we can, as you guys can see, we can move the box around. And what you see in this background, if you see this like sort of checkered background, that basically means it's transparent. Because if you render out this picture right now, it's basically going to be transparent. So all you'd see is this box and then nothing else. This background is transparent. So what we're going to actually do is undo that. So you can undo move, and then let's say you do a couple actions. The best way to undo stuff is to actually go Control-Alt-Z. Because that is the ultimately, like, you can only undo once. See, as you guys can see, I undid all the way back to creating the background. So let's actually read step forward. So if I do Control Z, wait, hold on, step forward, and let's add like, just for the tutorial's sake, let's just do like scribbles, something like that. So let's say I did Control Z once, and then I did it again. As you guys can see, it just redid that. So the way we go step backwards, if you want to keep on undoing more than once, is Control-Alt-Z, or we can go edit and then step backward. That's a very important tool you guys must know in the future. Anyways, so now let's add a shape to this project. As you guys can see, that is like, we learned like to use the move tool, which is, you know, it's quite straightforward. And then we're gonna learn to do more stuff like rotating. So the first thing we're actually gonna do now to learn that is actually go down to this tool right. As you guys can see, it's like a little squiggly sort of shape. So we're gonna right click on that and actually select the rectangle tool. So as you guys can see, we kind of have this little crosshair sort of thing. So we're gonna select and drag, and we're gonna make a rectangle by doing that. So we did make a rectangle, but as you guys can see, it's sort of like a white rectangle, so it's kind of blending in the background. All you guys can see is like the black outline around it, kind of indicating that we're selected on it. So if we deselect that, as you guys can see, we can't really see the rectangle. So we're gonna assign a color to it, or a fill color. So we're just gonna go to the fill option, as you guys can see up here. Select that, and we can choose any color for the rectangle. Since the background is white, anything that isn't white it's gonna show. So let's just make this like a dark gray color, I guess. That works. So now if we want to move the rectangle in the middle, of course, we can do that by just clicking drag.